I want to pick your brain about the Carnell Tate. Let's just start there. We'll get through all the picks, as well as the picks getting in here live for us. But Carnell Tate at 4, dude. And then you see, Makai Lemon fall to 20, where there's not that much of a gap between those players. And I tell you, I think Lemon's a better player. The Titans, what are they doing? What's going on here?
So initially I was a little taken aback, but I like it. I mean, Brian Daboll's coming in. Like, he made Malik Neighbors a superstar right out of the gate. He's got Wan'Dale Robinson on the other side. Calvin Ridley's toast. So Carnell Tate should step into a pretty decent target share. If Cam Ward takes a step forward like we think he will, then the Titans go as Cam Ward goes, or at least they believe that. And so they're doing everything they can to put the right team around him. I think they're going to give him every opportunity to succeed, and that means giving Carnell Tate, the best wide receiver on that team, every opportunity to get targets. I like it. I think it's a good move for the organization. I think it seems like a little bit of a panic move, right? I think they were expecting Jeremiah Love to be there, but I'm bullish on Carnell Tate this year.
So you said that so you're essentially saying that Daboll made Malik Neighbors a superstar. He is a superstar. Carnell Tate's not a superstar. That's the problem.
Don't put words in my mouth. He didn't make him a superstar, but he did put the environment around him so that a number one wide receiver could succeed there. And tell me, who's the number one wide receiver in Tennessee right now?
Oh, it's Carnell Tate, but I still think Calvin Ridley is going to be on the field a lot. Wan'Dale Robinson is a target earner at this point of his career. We've seen that. So
we saw 1 year. We saw that last year.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years. I love Cam Ward, so it's like I'm on the fence about the. I think he's going to go too high though, because people are like, "Oh my God, he's a number one. Oh my God, he's a number one." And like, I don't know. It's still a young quarterback, and I don't like the player that much. He's going to be like the 4th round, dude. Like, are you going to take him in the 4th round, Story?
No. That I don't think he'll get up that high though. That's ridiculous.
He went 4th overall. Hey, Story. He went 4th overall in the draft. We saw Marvin Harrison, last receiver we saw go 4th overall, Mr. Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals, and he went in the 1st round of the NFL or the fantasy drafts. He was right that 1-2 turn.
But this is a different situation. This is people got burned by Harrison.
I get it.
Last year, where was Ugabuka going last year? 6th round, right? And he got steamed up heavy in draft season, and that was a much better situation in Tampa Bay. So I don't think he'll get up to the 4th.
Omar Cooper to the Jets at pick 30, Story.
Is that official?
That's official. So okay, that's a fine pick. The Sadiq pick, and I'm not saying this because I'm biased because I'm the biggest Mason Taylor fan ever, but like, why didn't they just take Lemon at 16? You know what I mean? I guess because they thought they'd get Omar Cooper later. I don't know. I just think Lemon was a can't miss, and they're drafting Sadiq to be a slot receiver when the best slot receiver in the draft was available to them. This is just the Jets being the Jets.
Yes, it is the Jets being the Jets. Now, you don't draft a guy top 16, especially a playmaking tight end like that, to have him split reps with Mason Taylor. Yet, I mean, we've seen the Jets do it with top 15 picks very recently. So would it surprise you to see him be the number 2 tight end to start the year behind Mason Taylor? That's what scares me.
Yeah, I have so much Mason Taylor in best ball. And the reason I took Mason Taylor everywhere, I was like, well, there's no way they're taking a tight end in the first 3 rounds, Story, because they have so many other needs, including wide receiver, and then all across the board. And they take Kenyon Sadiq, which is weird because a lot of teams had tight end needs, actual tight end needs that passed on him. Like the Ravens passed on him. The Bucks passed on him. Like, okay, the Bucks have Cade Otton, but like Mason Taylor's a year 2 player. Cade Otton, we know what Cade Otton is. You hate Cade Otton.
I do hate Cade Otton. But I was fully on board with Sadiq going to Tampa Bay. But for a big slot and a second target for Geno Smith, Sadiq makes a ton of sense. But he's going to find playing time, but it's going to be split with Mason Taylor. And for long-term stability, I'm really worried about him in a dynasty context. I mean, most teams wouldn't spend a top first half of round 1 pick if the guy wasn't going to be a 90% opportunity share or not opportunity. What do you call it? Snap share kind of player. Yeah. But the Jets are the Jets, and if they may just not use him effectively, right? We'll see what Aaron Glenn does. I'm marking my words, he'll be fired by week 8.
The Bills just traded back again. Now the Titans are on the clock here at 31 apparently, and this is going to be is this Jadarian Price?
Is this Jadarian Price? Is this Jonah Coleman territory?
Yeah. Jonah Coleman, gross. Buzz your girlfriend.
Well,
Woof.
I know we might think that, but Jonah Coleman checks all the boxes for what teams like to see in a running back. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Jonah Coleman go number 2 in this draft class.
So let's talk about the top 10. Jeremiah Love at 3. So that's a big one here for fantasy. What the hell are the Cardinals doing? We love Jeremiah Love, but and it's not like Tyler Algier makes a lot of money. It was a really cheap contract, but they re-signed Connor. They still have Trey Benson. This essentially says Trey Benson's bye-bye. He gone already. They're giving up on him. But what do you think of the landing spot? And this is one of the worst spots he could go, right? Because he's going to have some touchdowns vultured here.
Yeah. I mean, we know how the Falcons wanted to deploy Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. We don't know how the Cardinals want to deploy James Conner, Tyler Algier, Trey Benson, and now Jeremiah Love. Trey Benson probably getting cut. I would wager to bet he's a camp casualty. Love is obviously the best player in this year's draft, but the Cardinals have glaring holes at offense, like the offensive line, the quarterback. Love's playmaking abilities are undeniable. It's going to get him playing time, right off the bat. He's going to be a workhorse for the most part, but you're right. He's going to get goal line touches vultured. He's going to get passing down work, probably vultured by James Conner, who's an arguably a really good pass catching running back. So I have real concerns. The start of his career, it could be tough sledding. He's going to get
it's a nightmare.
He's not getting drafted. I don't expect that he will get drafted in the first round of fantasy drafts. I'm not comfortable taking him in the first 3 rounds, to be honest.
Well, so he was going pick. We'll get to Mouse Super Chat here in a second. He was going pick 15 ADP in Underdog. That's without knowing where he's going. Now he's probably going to drop to 21. Let's say he drops to the 2-3 turn. Still not comfortable there?
No, I'm not. I mean, I would, depending on how the camp reports come out, mid-third is the earliest that I would take him. We saw what happened with Ashton Genty in a very similar situation in terms of the quarterback, the wide receiver. I don't want to keep harping on these franchises, but franchises that don't necessarily make the best decisions. And he didn't have any touch competition. Tyler Algier is a goal line back. He's been used like that his entire career. So when we saw Ashton Genty, it took him a long time to actually pay off on that draft price. I'd be concerned drafting him at the 2-3 turn.
Mouth, the Jets are converting Sadiq to a slot receiver. He's a better pass catcher than any of the receivers. Tight end 2 is a starting position now. Frank Wright isn't stupid. He's the OC. Trust me there. Well, what did you see, Mouth? Did you see they just drafted Omar Cooper at 30? So Omar Cooper is a guy that's versatile, right? He can move around, but he does comp primarily as a slot receiver in the NFL. So, and they like moving around Garrett Wilson. Adonai Mitchell's clearly an X there. So now they have a bunch of weapons. I do the Jets have a lot. Mason Taylor's a tight end 2. And, we have Omar Cooper as the wide receiver 2. Adonai Mitchell as a wide receiver. This is a great offense right now with Breece Hall in the backfield.
But it's Geno Smith. And we saw Geno Smith take a huge step back last year. Now, it was the Raiders. Also, their offensive line is a disaster in the middle. They need a lot of help day 2. So we'll see what they do there. I'm surprised they went with 2 skill position players here in round 1, but that they apparently thought that their offense wasn't good, despite the fact that they didn't even record an interception last year, if memory serves.
Yeah, that's true. 0 interceptions from a defensive head coach in a league that throws the ball a ton. Let's see. This is a good one. Let's go back to our Jeremiah Love conversation. It's Hampton or Love from Tony. What's going on, Tony? For me, it was Hampton already before this poor landing spot we're talking about. So this is clearly Hampton. I'm going to throw another line to you. Let's say Travis Etienne, who's going pick 30. He's going right in that early part of the 3rd round. Travis Etienne with Alvin Kamara most likely coming back, or Jeremiah Love.
Oh man,
that's the line, right?
Kamara is coming back. That one is the line right there. Yeah, because we saw Etienne. Are we sticking with Etienne, or are we going to Etienne? No, we're sticking with Etienne, right?
Yeah, I'm saying Etienne. I'm not changing shit. 3 years into his career, 4 years into his
career. Man, that one is really, really tough. I think, gun to my head, I think I'm going to go with Etienne. We saw Kamara basically dust last year, couldn't shake the injury bug. There's really nothing else. Devin Neal is a nothing in this league. What's his name? Can't stay healthy. Who's the guy?
They have Audric Estime.
No, the other guy, the guy that Sean Payton hated.
Oh, Kendra Miller.
Yeah, Kendra Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, he can't.
By the way, I remember the guy that I was trying to think about the other day that the Rams signed, the super tiny, speedy guy that signed his extension on Hard Knocks. It was Tavon Austin.
Oh, yeah, Tavon Austin, first-round pick, right?
Yeah.
Former first-rounder?
Yeah.
We got a happy Bucks fan here, which I think this is a great pick here with Bane. Bane being favored for two drop to 15. Bucks are back. Jason Light, genius, last Miami guy. Problem off the field is wearing a gold jacket. Warren Sapp. Desmond Bane's a monster, and you liked him coming out, right? Story?
Yeah, I did. You mean wait,
Ruben Bain. Sorry, Ruben Bain. I called him Desmond Bain.
Ruben Bain Jr. You
Desmond Bain's a basketball player.
A little loop there. I mean that was a trade from Miami, so it was a smart trade. He definitely, I think, was probably going to the well. I think that either the Jets or the Lions behind probably would have jumped on that. It's a great move for the Bucks. They definitely needed an edge rusher. We saw that whole line just not being able to get penetration last year, and Ruben Bain should immediately step in to a full-time role and take care of that for them. I'd be super thrilled if I'm a Bucks fan right now.
Yeah, I think the whole division did pretty well. I mean, the Saints definitely did well with Jordan Tyson, and is that our favorite landing spot for these? I know you're going to like Carnell Tate.
I actually am strongly considering moving Tyson up above Carnell Tate because of the landing spot. I still like Tate as a overall prospect better, but the landing spot, it's only 4 picks behind. It's an incredible spot across from Chris Olave. Who else is going to take targets away from him there? And Chuck showed that he could be Chuck showed that he could be a very serviceable quarterback. And I think he can support 2 fantasy relevant quarterbacks or wide receivers. So I still have Tate right now, number 1, but we're going to have to see how this goes. I might move Tyson over Tate.
Well, I think the consensus will be that Tate's going to go way higher than Tyson just based on being drafted so early and being the quote unquote number 1, where it's like, Chris Olave is the number 1 there, but like there might be 2 rounds of value for Tyson. It might be 4th or 5th round for Tate. It might be 6th or 7th round for Tyson. I know you think it's crazy that I think Tate's going in the 4th round. He will go in the 4th round. Story. These fuckers, everyone loves rookies and they love opportunity. And Tate has the draft capital and the opportunity. I just don't think he's a very good player. Mic drop.
Fair. I mean, it would be a mic drop if you had this conversation in 9 months and he was
gonna have it.
Yeah. So we'll have to circle back. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think there's anything keeping either of those 2 guys off the field immediately. Like they're both going to play in 2 wide receiver sets.
Oh yeah.
So it's a matter which quarterback takes the step to the next level.
So Mouth is really pissed about the Giants. I don't know what the Giants are doing, man. Now they have another edge rusher. Like I get that Arvell Reese was the best player on the board. I understand that, but like they have Thibodeau's traded for sure, but they're going to get pennies in the dollar for him. And like you already have 2 awesome edge rushers. So what are they going to do there? What are they going to do? Are they going to rotate? Are they going to play him? Are they going to have like him kind of be a hybrid outside linebacker, off-ball linebacker, and then rush the passer, Arvell Reese?
I would think so. Yeah. What you said last there, where he off-ball hybrid, probably down, 3 down, 60% of the time, 40% standing up. I would guess, but I don't know. I don't know what Harbaugh's doing. I have no idea what he's doing. And then, the Francis Muyoga Goa pick is head scratching to say the least. I'm not sure what he's doing there either.
Why didn't they just say Caleb Downs? Like they needed a safety. Now you take Caleb Downs away from the Cowboys. Now, to Mal's point, you just gave the Cowboys a top 3, top 4 defender in this class. In my opinion, at the top, it just doesn't play a priority, a valued position, even though I value safety. And the Cowboys probably, I love the Bears pick as well, but the Cowboys knocked both picks out of the park. And that's exactly what they needed. They got the best player available, and it was a need pick, right? So it's like when you check both those boxes, and they're guys that we personally love, that's how you win drafts, man. And I'm not the biggest fan of Lawrence. I think he's what they needed, though, right? He was the only guy available at 23 that could fit the mold of an edge rusher they needed, right?
Yeah, circle back to that because the Seahawks pick is in. Did you see what they close out the first round with?
Jadarian Price. Well, there goes George Helane stock.
Wow.
Yeah.
That one is exciting. It's exciting in fantasy circles. It's exciting in real life, right? That's he should be the bell cow. What are they going to do when Charbonnet comes back? Yet to be seen. But
it's not exciting for us, Story. You had him at 4, I had him at 5. We don't like Jadarian Price, the player.
Yeah, but the landing spot, I was hoping that Nick Singleton would go there in round 2. Yeah, but the landing spot is probably as good as any spot in this draft class. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Early in the season, but like Charbonnet's coming back, so like I just feel like he's another guy that's gonna get way overdrafted. People gonna be like, "Oh, he's the starter." I'm like, "Well, he might be the starter early on. Do we know he's the starter? Like, they're gonna have him return kicks for sure. Do we know he's the starter?
No, we don't. I would have to assume so. Who else is on that roster besides George Helane?
The Packers backup.
Oh, AJ Dillon? No.
No.
Not Marshawn Lloyd. The other guy. Shoot.
Emmanuel Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, there's a lot of information. We have information overload from this draft that we're forgetting easy things. I still think Emmanuel Wilson will be the starter. Mouth agrees. It'll be a timeshare. It'll be a timeshare, man. They brought in Emmanuel Wilson for a reason. He played awesome last year.
I think Jadarian Price gets the nod. Like Emmanuel Wilson's fine, but Jadarian Price is the better talent.
You really think so?
I do. Yeah.
But you had him ranked 4th overall in a bad running back class.
That depends on how you feel about Mike Washington and Nick Singleton, because I think those guys are great talents, personally.
I think Emmett Johnson's a great talent. I'll tell you one last thing about Jadarian Price. Dude's a fucking clown.
I don't know who Bozo is. What, is he a clown?
Is he a clown? What, are you kidding me?
Well, what is he?
Yes, he's a clown.
All right, so what's the big deal? There's millions of clowns.
All right, just forget it.
Forget me? You should forget it. You're living in the past, man. You hung up on some clown from the 60s, man.
You're hung up on some running back in the late 30s, man. Are you moving Price in the first round of Dynasty drafts, Story?
I am, yes. I think that's an immediate jump into the first round of Dynasty drafts. And I haven't even run the numbers yet because it just happened. But I would absolutely, like, if I run the numbers and he's still not in the first round, I'll make some subjective adjustments. I'm moving him in the first round.
Yeah, it's draft capital trumps talent, especially at the running back position. And
because
this is
unlike targets which are earned. Draft capital speaks volumes about when a running back gets on the field because coaches make those decisions to hand the ball off and to whom, right? Quarterbacks make decisions based on guys being open or schemes. Coaches make those decisions. And if the coaches decide that they want Jadarian Price to be the 60-40 split with Emmanuel Wilson, then I think he's valuable-ish in fantasy. At the very least, he's a long-term deal in Dynasty drafts. Maybe not this year.
I guess it's safe to say that draft capital speaks volume about the volume a running back's going to get, because that's the name of the game, is pure volume. And then also, being tied to a team with that elite defense. Now, I know the running game was pretty shitty the first 14 weeks last year. It really ticked up in the end of the season, the postseason, when they gave it to Kenneth Walker. But it wasn't just the running backs; it was the offensive line wasn't really doing their job. But they're going to have a plus running game, I would imagine, just with that defense and with the game scripts. It's just mad volume for whoever is the starter, if they actually can anoint one. But we still have no idea about Zach Charbonnet. It's a wild card, right? Like the report was Zach Charbonnet will be back sometime this season. Like not this year, like this season. So is that the playoffs? Is that week 10? Is that week 8? We have no idea.
I don't know. Yeah, we don't know. It was a late ACL tear. So I think the expectation is he will be around sometime when there's snow on the ground.
Yeah. Arizona does have 5 running backs.
I think they have 6 on the roster right now.
Trey Benson's probably cut, right?
Technically, Love hasn't signed his rookie contract, so he's not on the roster. Yes, Trey Benson, I would wager is getting cut.
Yeah, because James Conner's essentially like a team captain. He's just like
don't forget they re-signed what's his name, Amari DiMercato.
Yeah. No, not DiMercato. The other Michael Carter.
Michael Carter, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, DiMercato is a backup for the Chiefs right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna look that up. Cardinals depth chart. No, not the.
It's the end for Connor as anything relevant, Mouth, but like they're gonna keep Connor because he's got such a cheap deal, and they love him there. Like he's literally like a pillar of that franchise with what he's been through and just what he's done for them. So he's gonna be there. And the question is Trey Benson. If Trey Benson, he should be cut, but Tyler Algier is not going anywhere. Tyler Algier kept Bijan off the goal line, and that was not year one Bijan's story. That was year 2 and year 3 Bijan, who is one of the best running backs in my mind, the best running back in the NFL. So. If that happened, I know different coordinators, different schemes, different coaches. I get that, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's going to keep him off the field.
It is 6 because technically Corey Kiner is on the roster right now.
Jesus, man, that is.
And Bam Knight. So it's Bam. Yeah, it's Bam Knight's there too. So not Michael Carter, but it was Bam Knight that they re-signed, not Michael Carter. So it's 6.
They're all the same guys.
Algier, James Conner, Trey Benson, Bam Knight, and Corey Kiner. Special teams guy, but he's still on the roster. Oogie.
Shout out Jason. Appreciate you, bro. Hope your Jason has a bearded dragon he found, wandered into his garage, and he's got a pet. They're super awesome pets.
Where does he live? Arizona? Florida? Okay.
Hell of a first round draft. Just another step closer to kick off smoking meat and drinking beers, brother. Tailgating is the best. And Bolts winning the cup. So do you like to smoke meat, Story? Do you smoke meats?
Yeah.
I know you like meat because you're total fucking gay, but
I smoke all kinds of meats. I also like barbecue. Hey-o, ba-dum, ching.
I like that. Gay joke. We like those around here. I think they're probably our biggest hit, right? Gay joke.
Your hands are what makes it possible. Your shoulder pads are hard and stiff. Your hands are tender and they can move and caress the ball. that's kind of gay, but hey.
Why does he slow down there when he's talking about tender and caress?
I don't know. One last major talking point here. We'll get to everyone's comments. We got a lot of shit to digest here. But Ty Simpson, a guy you hate, you didn't even have in your top 5, going to the Rams, which is a great fit in theory. It's eerily similar to the Jordan Love situation, what the Packers have done in recent history. But I was talking to Dakota in the Discord in a DM, and that kind of worked for Green Bay, but they didn't win a Super Bowl they haven't won a Super Bowl because of it. And with Rodgers, and like this Rams team is in the most win now mode I've ever seen of any team ever, right? Devontae Adams, Matt Stafford, you're the favorites to win the Super Bowl. You're in the toughest division in sports, like not even in football, I think in sports. And you choose to take a project quarterback that's not going to help you at all. Even if Stafford goes down, you think you're winning the Super Bowl because Ty Simpson comes in the game. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is probably just as good as he would be right now, right? Like just for this year. As a veteran,
the fit with McVay is excellent, right? So this is a quarterback, despite his flaws, he's got the ability to adjust. He's a smart kid. He's got the ability to adjust protections and flip hot routes, like stuff that McVay wants his quarterback to be able to do. Some very cerebral stuff that Stafford's been doing his entire time in Los Angeles. But this is the age-old question of how high in Dynasty do you draft a guy who's clearly a backup for this year, and at least this year, if not next year. I mean, he'll take the reins at some point, maybe, probably. Like if he is a bust and they don't actually keep him beyond his rookie contract, like you waste the 13th overall pick. I don't get it. Or are they? Does it signal that they're more worried about Stafford's health? Another year older, is the back issue creeping up? Although he played like an MVP candidate. Oh, he won the MVP last year, right?
He did win the MVP, yes.
Played like an MVP player after an epidural last year. Whenever he does hit the field, Simpson's going to be relevant. But the question is that injury related this year? Is it next year? Maybe, 50-50 is next year. And then 2028? Like how high can you realistically draft that guy in a single QB league in Dynasty? That's a tough question.
I'm more talking real life. Like, why are the Rams like, I hate when teams do this. It's like I hate when teams do soft rebuilds, like do a full rebuild if you're going to do it. And if you're going to go all in now, which they did with the trade, to get the corners there and give up some capital there, like just draft someone that's going to help you this year, because Super Bowls are hard to come by, man. And I guess Sean McVay has one, but Matt Stafford has 2 years left. Like you have a great roster. You have Devontae Adams for 1 or 2 more years. You have players on every spot of each offense and defense. And to draft a quarterback when you have Matt Stafford, like just sign a backup, sign a Will Levis, sign a project if you want to go that route.
Sign a
13th overall, like
sign a Kirk Cousins, right? They're not opposed to throwing money in free agency to get a Super Bowl. We saw that happen, but I have real concerns that Ty Simpson will be in LA after his rookie contract. I don't know.
You know what would be nice? How about offensive line? If you want a luxury pick and you think you're happy with your offensive line there in LA, draft a guy that it's kind of a project that could be your 6th offensive lineman. Now you help this year, you help the future. Like this only helps the future. And when you're the Super Bowl favorite, I just hate it. I fucking hate it. And like that division, man, you're an injury away, a couple injuries away. Pookie gets hurt. So Furious says, why didn't the Rams just take Lemon? Like I would much rather have that, even though that's not a pick that's going to really help them. It would help them. It wouldn't help fantasy.
No,
but it would give them depth. It would give them depth, though, right? Depth at wide receiver, and just another person to throw out there. And right now, it's like Ty Simpson is just nothing this year for fantasy, for real life. Just a bad decision by the Rams. And also, we don't like Ty Simpson. Like we don't like him is the point too. Like it's not like this was that quarterback class where it was like you're getting a Bo Nix or you're getting a Jaden Daniels level prospect. This is a project. This is Zach Wilson 2.0, man.
There was speculation that he wouldn't even go in night one earlier today. So this is this is the biggest craziness of the draft so far. There's been some weird stuff, but nothing outrageous. I think this is more outrageous than the Falcons drafting Penix at 8 overall a couple years ago. This one is just weird to me. This was not a can't miss prospect by any stretch. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's tough for me to question McVay and that Rams organization, but this is an interesting pick. We'll see where things go. Maybe like Lemon, it would have sucked for fantasy, but with all the stuff that's going on with Puka Nacua, why wouldn't you want a guy that can step right into that role if things go downhill with him?
Or Adams gets hurt again with a hamstring, you know what I'm saying? And then you can move Puka to the outside a little bit. But the biggest thing here that is wild is that Ty Simpson was 23 and a half or 24 and a half over under for his draft pick. That's the prop bet. And like they took him 10 spots ahead of that. I know that's not like the Bible or like that's not church. Like it doesn't guarantee that's the range they're going to go. But I'm telling you, that's what Vegas set it at. So the Vegas was expecting, a team like the Jets or the Cardinals to trade back in to the first round. That's usually what happens. The Jackson Dart thing last year with the Giants. Like that's what they expected. And then the Rams just come in there and just, no, we're going to take this guy. And like, I get why Sean McVay would love this kid. And I get why Sean McVay, he's been around for a long time. Sean McVay is like 42 years old, right? Like he's a super young guy. He's grooming the next guy. I respect that. But if you're a team like the Vikings or, a middling team, no offense to the Vikings, I'm saying a team that's not like a win-win now situation, you take that next guy, you groom that guy. You don't do this when you're the favorite to win the Super Bowl, like, and you have that free pick. So essentially, they gave away that free pick for the Pierce selection there with Atlanta. That's what they did. They said, you know what, we didn't deserve this pick anyway, and we got it. So let's just waste it for this year at least.
Yeah, I don't like. Is Sean McVay going to be here around when Ty Simpson eventually takes over? Like there was rumors that Sean McVay was going to retire if Matthew Stafford retired last year. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens in camp.
No, that was for real. Like I understand that because he's made a lot of money. He's accomplished everything you'd want as a coach, but
he could slip.
These coaches, they can't stay away
right into broadcasting with like any network would love to have him as one of those table guys. They would love to have McVay on. I guarantee it.
Sean McVay is a very handsome man, too.
Your hands are what makes it possible. Your shoulder pads are hard and stiff. Your hands are tender and they can move and caress the ball. that's kind of gay, but hey.
What do you think about the Caleb Banks pick from the Vikings when they needed a safety and we just got a safety handed? The Bears got one handed right in our lap. I can't believe we got him.
That is an A+ for the Bears there. This guy's probably the most well-rounded safety / I don't think he's that much different as a defensive back than Caleb Downs in terms of value. And the Bears just absolutely thanks Kevin Byard. He left us this offseason. This is a beautiful replacement. Anyway, what were we talking about? What's the question?
Oh, some of the Vikings and taking Caleb Banks,
Caleb Banks,
essentially
yeah.
giving us Thieneman. It's Thieneman,
This
right?
feels like it's a bit of a surprise, right? I guess they feel confident in the foot injury that kept them out for a good chunk of last season. I know that like they let Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave go. So Caleb Banks should slot right into the middle with Redmond there. But there's some issues with his profile, and the injury is a concern. Again, it's a home run. The raw upside, the athleticism is undeniable. 6 foot, whatever, 5'6", whatever it is, 330 pounds. The guy's the monster, explosive power. It's just a matter of like if he works out in that scheme and in that system. If it does, it's a home run hit. If it doesn't, he could flame out pretty quickly. So it's a B+ with upside.
See, I thought it was too early just based on the noise I was hearing. You can't always listen to that, but that was kind of what the direction the Bears might have gone. That's what we thought was going to be there at 25. Take them at 18, like those two picks were flops, essentially. Like it should have been the other way around, right? The Vikings need a safety, man. Like Harrison's gone. Harrison Smith's gone.
Or what was his what pick were the Vikings?
18.
Yeah, so Lemon was still on the board. Would it not have been nice to see Lemon opposite Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, because Addison's not long for that team. You know what I mean? Just too many. One more rest, and he's literally gone.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a little bit of a head scratching pick, but I understand, right? You want to shore up the middle of that defensive line. Caleb Banks should be able to do that.
Let's see here. Devonta Smith about to be fun pick and redraft now with Brown most likely gone. So I've been drafting as such an underdog already. I've been taking Devonta Smith at in the 3rd round just because I just assume AJ Brown's gone. But now they have Lemon. So how do you break that down, Story? Are you still like Devonta Smith's a true one? He can play every position on the field in terms of wide receiver. He'll be playing more X, but he's suited for that. And do you like the spot? Do you like the spot with Lemon there in Philly? Because it's not a 1-to-1 replacement for AJ Brown. Like definitely not. Opposite archetypes there.
No, definitely not a 1-to-1 replacement. We're going to see if Devonta Smith can be a number one, and if AJ Brown moving on actually allows for a greater target share and more dominance from Devonta Smith, or if AJ Brown on the opposite side taking coverage allowed Devonta Smith to work down the field, which opened up things for more deep shots in some of the bigger games he had. I like the landing spot. I think it's a good one, right? The offensive line is doing a lot of heavy lifting there for that offense. So, and they're still in really good position. They're a nice pass blocking offensive line. I think it's a good spot for Lemon. He's my 3rd of those top 3 for a number of reasons, but this could be a really good spot. I mean, we knew that AJ Brown come June 3rd or whatever it is was going to be off that roster anyway. So with two wide receiver sets, Lemon should be on the field. It's a matter of whether or not he can take advantage of the opportunity afforded to him.
So what would you say the percentage is that AJ Brown's gone? Is it 90+% now? Because I was saying it was like 75% before that.
I thought the writing was on the wall, and I would put it at 90% before the draft pick. After the draft pick, I'd put it at 98%.
Bye-bye, AJ.
Well, he's going to New England. Like all signs point to him going to New England, which is outstanding for Vrabel, assuming that he still has a job come June 3rd.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. I've been harping this one for a while. Is it time to let Trey Benson go? Do you think Love is going to be a monster with Arizona? So it's definitely, I wouldn't let Benson go. If you're talking Dynasty, like they're going to let Trey Benson go. But if you have him in Dynasty, that's the best thing for you because you don't want him on that team because he's literally behind Algier and Jeremiah Love. Right. So you want him to go to, let's say he goes to the Titans or something. If they don't draft anyone early, that he can carve out a role there and beat out Tajay Spears or beat out Tony Pollard. He'll go somewhere and be a backup, which right now he's a 3rd stringer, maybe a 4th stringer.
Hell, he could go to Dallas and challenge Javonte Williams for the lead job.
There you go.
So
that's why I have story. You know what? You only have good ideas, bro.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. That is a great idea.
Those are the only kind I have.
I can hear my hair growing. You want some soup?
Dude.
That's me. After you make a good point, I'm just like, I can hear my hair growing. I'm hammered.
Dude. Friggin' 30-year-old Linda Cardellini. Oh my God.
Ooh, big fan. And I emphasize big on my end, not on her end. She's not very big. She's very tiny and petite.
But she's an attractive lady.
Hey, she might have a giant vagina though. You know what? Like, you know, those big vaginas?
Big mouth Billy Bass?
Yeah, Hope Solo, bro. Hope Solo, you wouldn't think would have a giant cooch, but she did. Let's see. You've never seen those pictures? Hope Solo was the goaltender for the U.S. Soccer team.
Oh,
pretty hot.
I never saw.
I'll send you pictures later. You got to see the pictures. Her shit got leaked. It's messy, bro. It's fucking messy.
I want to see that.
Yeah. Well, you're getting it. You're getting it tonight. That's our post show talk is just gonna be me sending you nudes of Hope Solo, third party nudes. So. From David, who do you think will be the wide receiver 2 in Tennessee? Does this affect Io Manor? Io Manor's dust now. I mean, he's a depth piece. And Shamir DK is the guy that doesn't get affected as much because Wan'Dale Robinson was already there. It's going to be Calvin Ridley. It's going to be Wan'Dale Robinson. It's going to be Carnell Tate. And they don't really have a tight end right now.
It'll be in 2 wide receivers sets. It'll be Tate and Ridley, like right off the bat. Wan'Dale in the slot. And they'll move him around a little bit, but DK, Io Manor's dust. He's done. DK, he still will have value to the Titans, but he won't be a fantasy factor like he was last year.
No.
Yeah. So that's basically it. I think. Remember the old Miami guy, Xavier Restrepo? I think he signed there this year. So. Great.
Well, here's one thing I will say is that they don't have the personnel to play a lot of 12 personnel there in Tennessee. It's literally it's Bellinger and Gunnar Helm. I mean,
right.
They might do it. I'm saying that's bad. Like those are bad tight ends, dude. So it should be a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. So like Wan'Dale will still be on the field a lot. Ridley will be on the field a lot. Carnell Tate's not leaving the field, which is good for you Carnell Tate fans. He's going to be running a lot of cardio, you know.
The Titans have a lot of holes, and Saleh's a defensive coach. But in early round 2, what if the Titans drafted, what's his name from Vandy?
Stowers.
Yeah, Eli Stowers. That'd be interesting.
They need something else, you know. Yeah, I mean, if they're going to take a 4th overall pick at Carnell Tate, take a 2nd round pick on Stowers because he's a better player than Carnell Tate.
Max Clare is a better blocker, so that probably would be better. We'll see.
Or your boy Sam Roush. Sam Roush in the fucking 3rd round.
Great there. Man, I would love Sam Roush to go there.
All right. I'm going to hit you guys with the intro, and then we're going to get to everyone's questions after this. So let's take a little 5-minute breather or 3-minute breather from the NFL draft talk and talk about our guy, Mike Vrabel. And all the, you know, you said there was a 100% chance they were doing something they should have been doing. And you were right on that one. Even though I had Nick O on the show, he said he didn't think they were doing anything. And then the picture service from 6 years ago today's story. So this has been going on for 6 years.
6 years-ish. I mean, 6 years that we know of that she's been a report. Now, I want to preface this by saying that we did catch some flack online on YouTube in the comments about us judging them. I felt like we were just presenting the information. I also called it out as a double standard where the Diana Rossellini, or whatever her name is, Rossini, thank you, was getting raked over the coals while it seemed like Mike Vrabel was skirting by. So I do want that on the record. I don't think we were judging. I think we were presenting the facts. And also, you did point out that if you are a public figure, regardless of your stature, if you're in the public face, your life is open to scrutiny. That's just the fact of life. Like it or lump it, that's the way it is. So with these 2 public figures who are on TV on a regular basis, if they're going to skirt around and do this kind of stuff, then people are going to talk about it. We're not judging. We're just saying maybe it's not something that I would do.
Well, I'm judging, but I'm not saying it is what it is. I'm allowed to judge people, and I judge myself. I've made some mistakes in my life. I'm not a celebrity, though. There's a difference. I don't have that much to lose. Like, Mike Vrabel could lose his job now. I know that sounds crazy, but with the insider information, some of the stuff coming out, how long this has been going on, like, would it surprise you if Mike Vrabel got fired over this in this culture?
No, it wouldn't surprise me, and it also wouldn't surprise me if he spent 2 years out of the public spotlight and then came back in as a offensive coordinator somewhere, and then worked his way back up to head coach, because that's how it works in NFL circles. And I'm not saying that's right, because I don't think it is, but we've talked about this in the past. Big patronage system in the NFL, and this poor woman, like, she made some mistakes too. I don't want to leave her off the hook, but feels like she's getting the brunt of it, while as Vrabel, although he did come out and he did talk about today, like, I've got to make better choices and better decisions.
Hold on, I got the clip of that.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false.
Slick Willie, big time liar.
Can you just that's such a crazy interview, and, like, you know what that is, that Bill Clinton thing? That's literally like you steal your brother's baseball card or something. The parents are like, "Did you steal it?" And no, I did not steal it. What's in your pocket? The baseball card? Like, come on, Bill Clinton. Like, be better.
He was on words, right? He didn't actually. It depends on how you define sexual relations, I suppose. But
dude, have you seen Hillary Clinton when she was younger? Have you seen pictures of her? She was hot, dude.
No,
really hot.
I don't want to, not to get political, but when this Epstein stuff started kicking up with the Clintons, there's all these old pictures of Hillary Clinton. I was like,
yeah,
slick,
dude, same.
Good for you.
No shit. And there's a lot of rumblings that Hillary's a lesbian, and it does make sense because she's married to Bill. Now, there's anything wrong with that, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. Let me say it again. There's nothing wrong with being a lesbian. Actually, we love lesbians. It's just the other people that are celebrated now.
It's really unfair. It's my team. It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair. We lost as a team.
You know what's wild, though, about the Mike Vrabel thing? If you saw, he said he's not going to be present for day 3 of the draft. But Mike Vrabel is one of these coaches that is essentially the GM there. So, like, and they have 5 or 6 or 7 day 3 picks. So, like, he's getting counseling. Like, that's the whole thing. It's the Tiger Woods, the South Park sex addiction thing. Yeah, where it's just like, well, I'm going to go to get counseling. No, dude, you made a mistake. Say you're sorry. Be better. And that's the end of it. Like, counseling, like, what? That's just such a... People are like, oh, he's fine now. Oh, Puka checked into rehab. He bit a chick and said a bunch of shit about Jewish people. Like, he's fine now. He went to rehab. He's fixed. Yeah, rehab really works. If you didn't know, my boy Chris Farley went to rehab 17 times. And how did that end up? Did he get fixed?
I don't think so. Is he still making movies?
No, No, he died. He died.
The Patriots drafted an offensive lineman in the first round for the second year in a row. What do you think about that?
I didn't see because that was towards the end, huh?
Caleb Lomu for the Utah guy.
Oh, okay. I mean, they had to because the offensive line was trash towards the end of the year, and we don't know if they actually have like franchise left tackle, franchise right tackle, etc. So, is he good? I don't know much about him.
Yeah, he redshirted, so he played only 3 games his freshman year due to. I don't know if it was injury or if he just only played 3 games to redshirt. But he took over as their starting left tackle 2 years ago, and he never looked back. Like, he was a very solid starter, like a regular contributor on the offensive line. He's not going to win any offensive player of the year awards, but he will be a nice addition to that team, especially with Will Campbell there.
So Blake says they're moving Campbell to guard, which makes sense because I feel like Will Campbell's an elite guard. Just above average tackle. That's kind of how he comped with his. And I hate the arm length argument, but like that was pretty apparent. He's a T-Rex, not a left tackle.
Yeah, it would. I wouldn't actually. I don't know. That's tough. Like, so Loma was left tackle at Utah, but I think that they might but they might groom him to be Moses's replacement over at right tackle, which would then move some things around on the line. Yeah, we'll have to see how things shake out in camp.
Cool. Let's go back to the draft picks here and kind of just highlight some interesting ones, some fits. all that good stuff here. So Jordan Tyson, we said we both liked. We love the player. We love the fit there. How about the Chiefs trade up? What do you think about that? Like, they don't value corner because they draft, like, McDuffie was a late first round pick. They draft these guys later and they let him go, right? They trade him. They trade up at 60, and I do love this kid, but like, was that a good trade for the Chiefs?
What do they end up with? 6 or 7 or something like that?
6, yeah, the Browns pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talented player, no question about it. I would put him up there with Caleb Downs as one of the most talented corners in the draft, but this kind of feels like an empty pick for a number of reasons. I mean, they moved up, 3 or 4
3 spots.
Yeah, gave
3
up
spots. They gave up 2 5th-rounders.
Additional picks, but they traded Trent McDuffie in the offseason. So I'm wondering if this is like a chance for them to rebuild the defensive line later in the draft through like some lottery picks. But I don't know. I thought they had more needs on defense than another cornerback here. The defensive line was a bit rough. I don't know, probably a C for this. The trade up feels weird. That's the thing about it. Like, he's a fine player. Like I said, very talented, but the trade up itself and giving up 2 5th-round picks is a weird.
Couldn't they have just got him at 9? You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure Sonny Styles was always going to Washington. Jordan Tyson was always going to the Saints, unless they're worried about another team trading up, right? That's the thing we don't know. We're not on these phone calls with these teams. But let's talk about Sonny Styles falling to 7. A lot of people had him as a top 5 pick. This is a great spot in Washington for him. They just need playmaking on defense. They need talent on defense. And this dude he's all those things. He's just really raw. So the problem is he's very raw, and he's going to a team that is, 7.5 win total, but a team that, 2 years ago was in the NFC Championship game. And they have Jaden Daniels on a rookie contract. So what do you think about the fit there?
It's surprising he dropped this far after the combine. Like, he had absolutely wowed people at the combine. So for him to drop to 7, it was a great pick for Washington. I thought that the Giants might have had an opportunity to draft him there at 5. So him dropping to 7 was a surprise. But man, if I'm a Washington Commanders fan, I'm very happy with that. You get an extra 2 spots of value on a guy. You save a little bit of money too.
Yeah. How about Fanu to the Browns? So Browns need all kinds of help, but trading down's nice. I think he's a really reliable tackle, and they need some help. They need to see what's up with Shedeur Sanders. Even though I think we both agree Shedeur Sanders is not a franchise quarterback, but they need to just be able to evaluate him and have him on his feet, not his back.
I mean, no question. I think he steps in as an immediate starter, but which side and who there is going to play left tackle? I think it leaves a lot of questions about, the pick itself is good in terms of the talent, but how their offensive line actually shakes out this year, I honestly, I don't know. I mean, he's a great blocker, very physical. He's more of a run blocking guy than he is a pass blocker. So I think they're expecting that they're going to get the run game on track with Judkins hopefully coming back fully healthy. The question is
Dakota loves this pick, this left tackle pick, because he loves Deshaun Watson for best ball. And that's what he's like going off about Deshaun Watson. I love he's the cult leader of Deshaun Watson fan club. And he's the only one. He's the only one in this club, though. I think he's the only one.
I mean, at 9 overall, it's good value. Spencer Fano was one of the top 2 guys to be drafted, the first offensive lineman. For him to go down to 9, I think is good value. Why not? Take him when this was like a best player available kind of thing.
Tyson still moves to rookie pick, the 102. So let's just talk about the 3 receivers, the big 3, and how you would rank them in Dynasty. So is Carnell Tate number 1 just because he's tied to a young quarterback that we do like in Cam Ward? But Tyson probably has a better ecosystem. And then, Lemon is the number 2 and a team that's a run-first team.
I mean, I liked Cam Ward last year, and he disappointed, and I didn't like Shuck, and he surprised. I like the landing spot opposite of Chris Olave. I honestly do. It's really close to me. I would, man, if you are in best ball, I'd try to get I'd probably split my exposure to them right down the middle. But if I have to make a choice, I got the 102. I'm I hate to say it, but I'm probably taking Tyson. I think the environment's just a little bit better long term. I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope that Cam Ward can take the next step. But right now, with what we know, I would have, gun to my head, I'm 51-49 Tyson over Tate.
See, I like Shuck. I like Shuck a lot more than you coming out of the draft, but I still prefer Cam Ward. Like, come on, man. Cam Ward is the number 1 overall pick. Like, there's
True.
You're almost saying that they're equal right now, is what I'm hearing from you, that you think that they're equal projections in the future, Cam Ward versus Tyler Shuck?
No, but I think that Saleh has already been there and done that, and he's a defensive-minded head coach, and he already kind of failed with the Jets. Now, that was the Jets, so we can give him a bit of a pass. I think the Saints' offensive environment is just a little more conducive and friendly, at least over the next 4 or 5 years, than what the Titans have on the field right now.
Yeah, the weather, the dome is awesome, too. Let's be honest. We love players playing inside.
That does help. 52-48.
All right. Casey Concepcion, my boy. 24 for the Browns. No, I like it. I actually like this spot. They don't have any receivers, dude. It's literally Harold Finn and Tim.
Did you see the video of him in North Carolina just shaking his head? He was shaking, yes, but that looked like a man who looked defeated. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I know it's the spot that we said. We said the Jets and the Browns are spots we don't want wide receivers to go. But I feel like KC's going to get a lot of targets there in Cleveland. Now, they're not good targets, but it's going to be short area stuff. Day one. Why did the Dolphins not draft any receiver or anyone, to help out their quarterback that is signed? Like, Malik Willis is just like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on here?
I don't know why they signed him if they were going to trade Waddle and then not sign it or not draft any wide receivers in round 1.
Do you know who their depth chart is at wide receiver right now?
I just realized they drafted at 24, right? The Browns. That means they traded with the Jaguars. Did the Jaguars not trade back in? Did they not have a first-round pick?
That was from the Travis Hunter pick.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's what it was.
So thank you, Travis Hunter, for Casey Concepcion, who's probably a better receiver than Travis Hunter. So
probably, yeah. I think so. Yeah, probably.
So you hate this for Casey Concepcion. You absolutely hate it.
I think it's great for the Browns. I hate it for Concepcion. I don't.
Okay, do you want to know why I love it?
Sure.
It's not that I think he's going to blow up. I think that the draft, he's going to have to be such a draft value because people are going to see a Browns receiver and he's going to go in like the 14th round. Like, give me him in the 14th round over Omar Cooper in the 9th. I'm just throwing numbers out there like top of my head. Or Jordan Tyson in the 6th or Cardinal Tate in the 4th. Like, Casey Concepcion's a baller, dude. And if I can get him in the 14th round, maybe he's going to go sooner than that. I'm just saying, like, where would you think he would go? He's a Browns receiver. Harold Finn is the one. Judkins going to get a bunch of work. Like, I just like the game scripts are going to be good. They're going to be terrible.
All of a sudden, it like for a good defense, right? Their defense is still going to be very good. Myles Garrett is not taking a step back. And a mediocre quarterback, whether it's Watson or Sanders or Dylan Gabriel. So the offense, subpar. The defense, great. And all of a sudden, it's a pretty crowded pass-catching room there with Harold Fannin, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Isaiah Bond, Casey Concepcion. Like, all of a sudden, there's not a whole lot of meat left on the bone for Concepcion, especially if he's just a slot guy.
But he is a great player, Story. He's a great player.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted to hear from you. Jay, shout out Jay. Appreciate you. He's gonna be the newest professional fanatic in the Patreon. He is hopping in the Dynasty League with us. So shout out to Jay. I was in a pool and needed 4 Buckeyes to go in the first 3 in the first I think it was the first 10 picks. And 3 went by pick 9 and Downs went 11. So Caleb Downs probably the best value in the draft. Would you say that?
I would argue that this is probably a homer talking, but Dylan Thieneman is the best value in the draft as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, for best value of like the blue chip of blue chip players, like top 10 guys, top 5 prospects, right?
Yeah, I think so, probably. Downs at 11 was a surprise to a lot. Although Proctor at 12, right behind him, that was a bit of a surprise too. I think Proctor was projected to go much higher than that.
Yeah, that guy's a monster. So Adam is wondering about Jadarian Price, and I guess the only thing I could show you is our personal running back ranks, And you see Jadarian Price at 4 for Story and 5 for myself. So obviously we're not big Jadarian Price fans. He's a better real life player than fantasy player, and he's going to be awesome on kick returns. Like we know that day one, he's going to be a pretty elite kick returner, but he's in a timeshare, and I think it's too early. First round, what do you think? I mean, the nice thing is drafting these first round running backs, you get the 5th year, which is nice. You don't have to re-sign them.
Yeah, you know what this feels like to me, and I know it's that Notre Dame opted out and they didn't even compete they didn't opt out of the bowl. They didn't get invited to the national championship. This feels to me like 2020 when the Chiefs were coming off the Super Bowl and they had this late first round pick, super luxury pick, even though they had some other needs, and they go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a guy that was widely expected to be a second round pick. That was the year that was it Jonathan Taylor was dropped to the second round behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It was a guy that was a high profile guy. As a luxury pick. That's kind of what this feels like to me. And I hope that McDonald is smarter than that, but I don't know. This feels like a luxury pick. And who's the A Greensward? Do you know?
That's Adam. That's Adam.
Like Adam said, I'm with you. I think they could have traded back and gotten a defensive piece here. Although probably didn't need as much on defense. I don't know. I'm a little sketchy of this pick.
Do you guys? I'm going to play the memberberry game. Do you remember when Clyde Edwards-Helaire was a top 6 pick in redraft that year, his rookie year? He was originally early seconds, like 2 or 3 weeks before the draft, and then some news came out. The blurbs. Preseason happened. It's not like he lit it up, but it was like he's going to be the starter. Andy Reid. This is Brian Westbrook 2.0. And then by the time the actual major drafts were happening, the week of the main week, the week before the season. He was going 6 and 7 overall. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the pipsqueak.
And if I remember correctly, he came out and fumbled on his first carry, and then he ran for 110 yards that game or something crazy. They threw him right back in there.
That was that game against the Texans when the Texans had hand job Deshaun Watson. They were good, and they were. It was a pretty cheap 40-yard touchdown though that Clyde Edwards-Helaire had to end the game. So and it was just bad. It was just we get so ahead of ourselves in these rookies, and we never learn our fucking lesson story. It's people like the counselor who are just pumping this shit into our system, the amateur system. Dude, this rookie, man, this guy's got all the opportunity in the world. You know what? Opportunity is earned, even at running back, especially you're talking about a guy going 32 overall, right? Jadarian Price and some of these guys, Bijan, Gibbs, Genty, they're getting it. We understand that.
Yeah, I mean, they need
guys in the end of the first round.
They need edge help. Right. And they did need running back help, but probably not this early in the draft. They desperately need defensive secondary help.
Jerry Jeudy didn't go to the team's first workouts. That's a great fucking sign. And he says, immaculate vibes in Cleveland. You know what? Cleveland always has immaculate vibes. And you know what's great? I always laugh at the draft. And obviously we're some of the biggest football fans around. But you see all these clowns going to the draft, traveling to go to see the draft and painting their faces and shit and wearing wacky ass outfits. And they're cheering for the 23rd pick and some offensive lineman from Arizona State. They never watched this. They don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. They're like, fuck yeah, let's go. Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life, man? I mean, we're on YouTube talking football, but at least we're not traveling to Pittsburgh to just cheer on our one pick. It's super weird, man.
I think it's great when when Peter Woods was called, who probably wasn't supposed to be a first round pick, and they pan over the Kansas City guys, and they're like, okay, all right, okay, really no idea. We trust our GM. So why are you even? I mean, again, I like supporting your team and all that kind of thing. We're just not that person, I think. Also, people dressing up with the hats and the foam and the Grinch costumes and all right, okay. I mean, again, you're adults, do whatever you want. I don't care, but then don't complain. Those are the same guys that will harp on people going to Disney World and dressing up there, or going to Comic-Con and dressing up there. It's the same thing.
The furries. Yeah.
Whatever. You're an adult, and but I guarantee you, those are the guys that are judging the people that go to Comic-Con and stuff like that.
Agreed.
Good. Tell me everything.
Okay. They were both here. They were both inside me. Eduardo was in my mouth and Luther was in my butt.
Oh my God, no, don't tell me everything. What? No, what? Damn it, Bonnie. Eduardo who?
Sanchez.
Holy shit, tell us more.
Then Luther went in Eduardo's butt for a while.
Tell us less. Tell us, Les.
Then they both completed on each other. I was left out of the finale.
The woman on the left, is that the grandma from Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes,
Nice.
it is. Dakota makes a good point here, and we were talking about the Dolphins just not getting their weaponry, like Jalen Tolbert and Malik Washington and Tutu Atwell and Greg Dulcich. Like, that's their weaponry right now. And then Devin Achane, obviously, who will probably get hurt or nicked up, and then he's gonna be frustrated and sit out games. 4.5 over under right now, Story. We should hammer that under right now. Like, I love Malik Willis for fantasy, and I like the player, but like, this is like we always talk about Justin Fields being thrown to the wolves and some of these quarterbacks with like no help and no O-line and no receivers. This is the worst I've ever seen. I know they could draft some guys later, but like, they had an opportunity to get some of these receivers in the back end of the first round. They just chose not to. And taking like a project offensive line, like we got to hit this under right now. 4.5. Like, they're going to win 2 games this year, and they're going to want to win 2 games this year.
My only hesitation is they get to play the Raiders, the Jets twice. You know what? I guess you're right. Like, they've got to have a pretty rough schedule, right? Like, let's look at their schedule and see what they've got this year. Dolphins 2026 schedule. Because I was like, I was trying to think of the divisions that they're playing, and I'm like, this is great radio. Let's see.
Justin, I'm going to get to a comment. Let's go Hawks. Let's win the Super Bowl again this year. I think he's pissed at us for saying that we didn't like the Jadarian Price pick. Like, the Hawks are still going to be great, bro. Like, and we don't hate the pick. We just don't like the player. I mean, we feel like it was early. We didn't like him coming out. It's something against the Seahawks. If you had listened to the show last year, from week 6 on, I said the Seahawks are the best team in football, and they have the highest ceiling in football, and I bet accordingly on that one. So he says, guys, you clearly have zero confidence and zero lack of trust in the Hawks. We trust the Hawks.
Saying we have zero lack of trust in the Hawks would say that we have.
I think he meant to say we have lack of trust in the Hawks.
Listen, if you're around enough, Justin, you'll know how pedantic I get. So here's the schedule. They get the Bills twice, obviously, the Patriots twice. They get the Jets twice, but KC, Chicago, Chargers, Lions, Bengals, Colts, Broncos, 49ers, Raiders, Packers, and Vikings. Oh, my God. That is a gauntlet.
Under 4.5, baby.
I mean, 5 games is not hard to do, but this schedule with that team feels like they're going to build up the defense this year, let the offense completely fall apart, and then rebuild the offense next year.
Well, and the Jets, as much as we were kind of poo-pooing some of their picks with Sadiq and, Omar Cooper, like, they have an improved roster for sure. Like, they're going to be like, that's not an easy win anymore. And the Patriots and Bills, that's 0-4 right there. So they might go 1-5 in the division. Okay, you get 1 win there. That's not great. Aiden says, do you have any idea why my fucking Rams got a quarterback? Because I thought Stafford is coming back. Well, Stafford's definitely coming back. And I think our guess is Stafford's playing 2 more years. I think it's 2 more years. Would you agree, Story?
That's my guess. I would have thought for sure that he's playing 2 more years. But maybe they don't have confidence in the health, the back. I don't know. Stafford looked great last year. We were really worried about his back, and he, modern medicine. I'm gonna try to stop doubting guys as much. Now, I did say that Benson was not going to come back last year, but I also said that, some other guys weren't going to come back that did come back. We'll see. I don't know.
This was a definition of a luxury pick, is what it is. It's a luxury pick. They're trying to what's the saying? Have their cake and eat it too, right? They're trying to have their quarterback of the future and win the Super Bowl this year, which I just don't agree with. And it doesn't help that we don't like Ty Simpson. I think it's the combination there. And it was 13. If they traded back and they got him in the second round or end of the first round, whole different story. Get it?
Okay.
But top 13, man, like Caleb Downs went 2 picks prior to that. That's a generational defender. There were still good players on the board on defense.
Yeah, I mean, just behind him, right? Ruben Bain Jr. Great pick for the Buccaneers there at 15.
Let's just take Ruben Bain, get another pass rusher. Everyone needs pass rushing help, even the Rams.
Draft back or trade back and get Mesidor that the Chargers got. That's going to be great for the Chargers. That's a great pick.
This is funny. We got some argument here in the chat, guys. All I ask is to be respectful to each other. Yeah, your sucky ass Rams that we beat their asses in the last game. The first seed, they just beat. Essentially, they didn't beat their ass. In they didn't. That was a close game. So the Rams don't suck. I don't think the Rams suck. If you think the Rams suck, you're just being biased. Is all I have to say. That's very biased. So the Rams are elite.
Sorry, didn't the Rams win that first week 15? Didn't they win that, or who won it? It was a shootout. Who won that? I can't remember who won that game. That was a great game for fantasy, by the way. If you had JSN, Puka Nacua,
the Seahawks won.
They did win.
The Seahawks won because of that Zach Charbonnet. Remember the Zach Charbonnet 2-point conversion?
Yeah. They did come back. They were down by multiple scores at halftime. I remember that now.
Yeah, those teams are so evenly matched. It's insane. Like the entire season, the 3 times they played, it was what, 1 score total?
Yeah, crazy. I mean, the Seahawks, make no mistake about it. Like the Seahawks were not the dominant team they were at the end of the year that they were in the first quarter of the year, right? They peaked at the absolute right time.
I think though we would say right now, even with the stupid Ty Simpson pick, we're taking the Rams over the Seahawks, right? Just based on the fact they've actually improved their team, and the Seahawks have. I'm not saying it's hard to improve on a Super Bowl team, but they've definitely lost some major pieces. That's what happens when you win a Super Bowl. People want to get theirs, and that's what happened with the Seahawks.
They lost some big pieces. They lost a huge piece on defense. They obviously lost both of their running backs, one to injury. They did replace them with a rookie. I think the Rams, though, made some good offseason moves. I would put the Rams as a probably 2.5-point favorite.
But I'll say this: the upside of the Seahawks is Sam Darnold can still take another leap, right? But Matt Stafford is he's won MVP, right? So like Sam Darnold is going to be playing so goddamn free and easy for the first time of his career because the Vikings, that was perfect situation with Kevin O'Connell. Then, he finished the year terrible, that awful loss in the playoffs, that awful game, against the Lions the last week of the season. And then no one believed in him. Guess what? The Vikings didn't even believe in him, gave him away. And then he had, awesome year last year with Seattle, but it was still a little bit touch and go towards the end there. And now it's like, okay, he won the Super Bowl. He's had 2 awesome years in a row, 2 14-win seasons in a row. Sam Darnold doesn't have to prove shit to anyone anymore. And not saying he was worried about that, but you know what I'm saying? He was a former bust, essentially, labeled a bust because of the Jets. Now it doesn't matter. Like, the world is his oyster, and, like, Sam Darnold's a gunslinger, and he can play a lot more free and easy. He's got JSN, so that's the upside. Is Seattle could just have a top 5 quarterback possibly. I know that sounds crazy to say, but Sam Darnold was drafted that high for a reason. We've seen him dominate 2 years in a row. So they have more upside with their quarterback ascending, where Matt Stafford is clearly not ascending anymore.
No, Matt Stafford, the peak of Matt Stafford was last year. I mean, Sam Darnold, he's not a game manager. He's much more than that now. I personally am going to have concerns with drafting Matthew Stafford in fantasy next year because of the way, the touchdown variance is wild. How many times were they on the 2-yard line and they threw those little in routes or fades to Devontae Adams and they're scoring touchdown? Like, you couldn't stop it, right? That's not going to happen again. So if he has less than nothing in the running game. If he doesn't have another 40 plus touchdown season, it could be a rough go if you're relying on Stafford in one quarterback leagues.
Justin, I love you, man, but okay, we don't give a fuck about any of this because A, we like making money. B, we're Bears fans.
We are Bears fans.
You didn't crush the Rams last year. I mean, I don't know what you're watching. And he says, we would crush your asses once again, dude. I got full confidence and trust in my Hawks, dude. I love your passion. Obviously, you're a very biased person because you love the Seahawks. We're not biased in this situation. We're just calling it like we see it. And in general, the facts remain that it was they played 3 games last year and the total point differential was 3 points or something. Like, that's not crushing anyone's ass. That's literally a coin flip.
Seattle was down by multiple scores at halftime in that Week 15 game. So I wouldn't exactly call that a beatdown. I want to see that again. That's such a great rivalry, and those teams playing each other, that was one of the best games that we had all year long. I was in Orlando during that, and we're sitting at a hotel bar, and I'm with some people that don't care about football except for my wife, and she knows that I'm in multiple fantasy semifinals, or no, that would have been quarterfinals, whatever it was. And I've got it on my phone. I'm checking whatever. I go up to the bar to get a drink, and there's a dude, he's there on his phone. He's got JSN. I've got Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford. I just end up talking with him, this rando at a bar in Orlando, just talking fantasy with him for 20 minutes. Well, and that's the beauty of football, is it brings people together, right? We don't have to be upset about the Rams versus the Seahawks. Who's better now? We'll find out on the field this coming year. As it stands now, we should be coming together as a community. This draft night shouldn't be tearing us apart.
Yeah, this Justin, dude, if you're gonna tell me to keep it clean in the chat, then please don't say the goddamn word because I'm a church going type of guy. Some about someone in the chat. Unfortunately, Justin, this probably might not be the show for you. We do keep it pretty respectful here, but we're not going to be PC. I don't expect my fans to be PC. So unfortunately, I said keep it respectful. I didn't say keep it clean. God damn it. Oh shit, I said it. Yeah, respectful, man. And if that offends you, then this is definitely not the show for you. I'm sorry to tell you, man. I love your support, your chats, and keep it going. I like your passion as well. We're gonna call it like we see it, and that's all we're gonna do.
This isn't PC, but this is a slang sign language for asshole. If anybody's interested in bringing that into your repertoire.
Yeah, it looks like an asshole too.
Exactly.
And he also did call the Rams a sucky ass team. So that doesn't seem very church going though. You're slandering the Rams. You said sucky ass. So let's keep it clean. And depending on your church, I don't want to go in that. I'll leave it at that.
Not to get political.
No, I don't want to get too political or, that's church and politics are things you're not supposed to really talk about. That's what I've heard and that's what I've been told. But I don't really know. I'm trying to think.
What are the three? It's church, it's religion, politics, and something else. I can't remember.
I got it right here. It's Darth Vader in blackface.
Look at this. This is Laurence Olivier in Othello. And this is James Earl Jones. Now look at how close they look.
Look at that. James Earl Jones doing a great blackface.
James Earl Jones has a black face. He's a black man.
He's not black.
Of course he's black.
He was Darth Vader.
Darth Vader was black?
No,
see, okay, there we go.
Darth Vader was not black. They took the mask off. He was white.
I think we can all agree with Jay's comment here. Rams versus Seattle was must-see TV. Three of the best games all year. And the two best teams in football last year. That was undeniable. And the Rams offense was the only one that could put up even over like 20 points in the Seahawks. And they put up 30. And this one really pissed me off, the Puka thing, that semifinal game you're referring to, the back and forth shootout, the overtime game.
Yeah.
I was against Puka in so many leagues. And the fact that game even went to overtime because they fucking punted to Rashid Shaheed, which is insane. Like, the Rams gave him that game. Like, don't punt to Shaheed. You're up by 2 scores. There's 7 minutes left in the game. Their offense was stalling, and they just let him back in the game. Then of course, Puka catches 2 touchdowns after that. And just, I won a couple of those matchups, but he put up a 50-burger, right?
Puka was fine at half. Stafford had 1 touchdown, not to Puka at halftime. So if you were playing those two guys, you were disappointed. That second half absolutely blew up. The Rams played some pretty incredible games down the stretch, including that wild card game against Carolina. That was a hell of a game too.
Justin, bye. I'm gonna block you now. You're gonna block us now? No, we block people. You don't block us. I'm a church going guy. You've said that like 6 times, bro. If your faith is that important to you, you would love the NFL draft, because all these guys, first thing they do, they say, I thank God. I appreciate God. God was in the weight room with me. God was my spotter, actually. You didn't know God was spotting these guys? God's the best spotter in the world, dude. He's fucking so strong.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to block you because I think you're just a very confused individual, man. And I wish you'd get the counseling, and God is going to lead you in that direction, man. I have full faith that he's going to, or the spaghetti monster, one of those two, one of those two is going to help you out for sure.
Maybe he'll find the counselor, and then it'll come running back to this channel.
I know that. Yeah, I know the counselor is he's a man of faith for sure.
Because the counselor will tell him to draft Jacoby Lane when he gets drafted by the Raiders.
Jacoby Lane, sleeper of the year. He's a 5th round pick, 5th round draft capital.
Who watched this guy at USC? Let me tell you something.
By the way, dude, I joined the counselor's Discord just because it's free and it's just for shits and giggles. There's like 800 people in there. And like, obviously, I don't know if you saw our Discord during the draft. There was probably, there's 45 people in ours, but there's like 20 really active, like, community members. There's probably 500 messages in ours back and forth, every pick, talking, people chatting each other up. The counselors had like 40 chats during the entire day 1 NFL draft with 800 people in there. Like, that just shows what a joke his channel is, his community is. Like, they're all bots. They're just all bots.
Yeah, you're right. It's all bots. Or it's people with dead accounts. They joined and they just muted it and they've moved on.
You know what happened is they quit playing fantasy because they kept on following the counselor's advice and they lost all their money. Now they're homeless. They don't have internet access, so they're just living in a van down by the river, and there's just no way for them to actually get in the Discord. That's probably my thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you want advice about drafting Adam Randall in the second round of your rookie drafts, then go see the counselor.
Yeah, let's see the counselor. He's a great guy.
When we get back to the world, you gotta put together that 3-piece combo band we talked about. Me on stand-up bass, Johnny on the drums, and me tickling the ivories.
Fucking love that. Let's talk about 11 through 20. Kind of, we talked about some of these picks. Ruben Bain, though, at 15 is a steal.
Big time steal, yeah.
And Kenyon Sadiq. So let's not talk about Mason Taylor for a second. I'd appreciate if we didn't do that. But what is this? And why didn't the Ravens take him? That was my thing. And also, the Rams, like, wouldn't it be nice for them to take Kenyon Sadiq instead of taking a quarterback? I know they have all those tight ends, but they like using a million tight ends.
They do like using, I don't think anybody runs as many 3 tight end sets as the Rams. They were running a ton of 13 personnel last year, so I didn't really see him going there. But I thought the Ravens, that would have been a nice spot. They like those 2 tight end sets, right? They like Isaiah Likely. He's moved on to the Giants. It would have been a nice eventual replacement for Mark Andrews. Although, what was his contract? Was it 3 years? 2 years?
3 years, $30 million. It's essentially him and Likely got the same money.
Yeah. I would have liked to see him go to Tampa Bay too. I'm not a fan of Cade Otton there, but for him to go to the Jets at 16 overall, it felt like, and I bet they're patting themselves on the back, like, oh, look how smart we are. This guy dropped to number 16 overall. We're gonna get the best player available when you've got holes all over the place, right? Like, for them to take this guy when they just took Mason Taylor last year, I find it to be a very head scratching pick. And I don't know what they're going to do with him. Like, I do know what they're going to do with him. Like Mouse said, he's going to play a ton in the slot, but he's still a tight end. Like, we hear this every year. We're going to hear it in camp about how he's going to play way more on the outside. He's going to play in the slot more than he's going to be a tight end. He's going to be a joker. He's going to be a weapon all over the field, blah, 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 blah. And the next thing you know, he's lining up in line for 70% of the snaps. And there's just not enough passing to go around there. Like you mentioned it, all of a sudden, they drafted Omar Cooper at the end of the first round. They've got Adonai Mitchell there. They've got Garrett Wilson. They got Breece Hall out of the backfield. All of a sudden, like, how much room is there in the pass catching for Kenyon Sadiq for a rookie tight end?
Not very much. I had to ban. His name is Justin Dickoff. Justin Dickoff was the religious fanatic here we had. He's the wrong kind of fanatic we want. Maybe if he had his dick, what happened? His dick got blown off. Justin Dickoff, and he had to go to the church.
It's no rotten sex hog, but
rotten sex hog is your favorite dude. Love that guy. That's a great name. How about Blake Miller to the Lions? So I know that's kind of a boring pick, but dude's a wrestler. I liked his tape, and this is more of a Jahmyr Gibbs thing for me, where Bijan versus Gibbs is very highly debated. We've debated it, but this is a need, and this is a good pick, and this guy's a mauler and very athletic. So this is exactly what Detroit needs. So does this possibly move the needle for you to take Gibbs over Bijan?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about this. We had talked about the offensive environment, Gibbs, the coaches, right? The different. It's a bit of a. I think it's a bit of a surprise that Blake Miller went ahead of Monroe Freeling. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure most people had him going. Again, this is why I think mock drafts are not really all that prescriptive. But it's a hard pick to dislike. He's got a high floor. He's got a ton of experience. He fills a big hole on the line for them. I think Monroe Freeling would have been a good pick there too. So this solidifies up the offensive line. He's a huge asset in the run game. So, man, I'm going to have to run some numbers and see. It might move, because right now I've got Bijan squarely ahead of Gibbs, but I'm going to have to look and take a look and see what, like, if he's projected, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be a full-time player, then it'd be tough not to put Gibbs ahead of Bijan.
And it also comes down to, if the Lions don't pick a running back day 2 and they're going to roll with Isaiah Pacheco, like, this is Gibbs. This is what we saw the end of 2024, where Gibbs is getting, he's not going to get 28 touches a game, but 22 touches for Gibbs, where, like, Bijan's usage doesn't really change too much with losing Algier. He'll probably get more goal line work, which was one of the issues. But Gibbs has been a top 3 fantasy back with 15 touches a game. Now you're adding 7 touches a game. That's fucking gigantic, dude. And you don't have David Montgomery. Like, David Montgomery was much more of a thorn than what Tyler Algier was, because David Montgomery was getting volume and the goal line work and some receptions.
It's a solid pick. It actually is a responsible pick, right? They could have been luxurious. They do need defensive help. So wherever they're somewhere around 50 or 55 or something like that, they're going to have to hone in on one of those next tier edge rushers, a safety, a cornerback. They definitely need to focus on defense for the next 2 picks after this.
This message, I love you, Hatcher. He says, I'm unholy. He must have called him unholy. Brother, you came in here talking mad shit. Like, unholy. You know what? That's actually a good thing to be unholy, but just, you know what? One thing I do about trolls, like, I am going to just eviscerate them, not in like the way most people would, where it's like, fuck you, I'm banning you. Like, I'm going to play along with them a little bit, and then just like see their psycho really come out, and they just make a fool out of themselves, and then they get the ban. But they actually give us good laughs.
You give them just enough rope for them to hang themselves, right? If you're going to become a nuisance, like if you want to troll a little bit in the comments, fine, whatever. Everybody's had a little bit of fun. But if you become a nuisance, then you're gonna play them out a little bit, and then you're banned.
Well, I'm fine with them trolling me. I just don't like, they're not trolling my community members, bro. Like, that's not happening, because that's not how we operate around here. Like, come at me, I can handle it. I'm not saying you guys can't, but like, you're not coming here to deal with some idiot talking about church. Like, what are we talking about? We're talking about NFL football, and it's day 1 of the NFL draft. We've been waiting for this for 2 fucking months, dude. We've been talking about all these guys, and we don't do mock drafts, but how many mock drafts did Daniel Jeremiah do? 17.
5,000. You ban them just like Mocha Joe banned Larry David.
Yeah, you're banned. You're banned. That's fucking, you're banned. Jesus Christ. What a start to the 2026 season, and some good entertainment there. Some good entertainment.
Very cute.
Oh,
What's his name?
It's Kwame.
It's Kwame. Kwame.
Mm-hmm.
Nice name. Nice name.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a little light for Kwame, no?
What?
A lot of names to pick, but it was a little darker, maybe.
Yeah, can you go?
That's very scary.
You need to get out.
Hey, any guys want ginger ale?
Get the fuck out.
MVP, shout out MVP, a fanatic in the Patreon. He says Minnesota's up 2-1 on Denver. You know what? I'm so pissed at Minnesota. So my biggest bet, my biggest future bet this year in the NBA was Minnesota 50+ wins. It was plus 100. I could have done 40. I could have done 48.5 for like minus 120. I was like, whatever, 1 win, like worth the plus 100. And they win 49 games. Anthony Edwards has 4 injuries. Yeah. Anthony Edwards had 4 separate injuries, not major ones. He missed like 4 games, 6 games, 5 games, and 4 games. So ended up missing 20 games. And like they won 49. And like unreal stuff. And now watch, they're going to be Denver in round 1. And I love Minnesota. I love Anthony Edwards. And God damn it.
Did they win that? No, they didn't. Oh, they did.
Killing it.
I
little light for a church-going man.
The Toronto Raptors are in the playoffs? Huh,
yeah, they had a great year, man.
I would not have guessed it.
Shout out, thank you, MVP. I owe a chug and a shot for that. We had our goal. Appreciate
Orlando
you.
Magic playoffs?
Yeah, well, you haven't watched. Sorry, don't be amazed by the NBA because you haven't watched it in years or ever. Your white is really showing now. Story, you're now like turning into Michael Jackson. You're very, very white now. Yeah. And actually, I think I have here's Mike's Story commenting. Mike's Story commenting on the NBA, guys. Here it is. There he is. There he is. It's Mike's Story. That's a fucking wild. I love this picture. You know what? Like,
did you know?
If you ever want to, like, hey, hold on. I got something for you. You know the one of the first scenes of Happy Gilmore when his grandma answers the door with the Gene Simmons mask and he gets always scared. If I did a remake of that, I would have the grandma have that Michael Jackson mugshot mask on. And that's really going to scare the kid for a lot of reasons, bro. Like, that kid ain't going in that house. No way. No way. No how.
No, probably not. No, did you know that Jordan Tyson's brother plays for the Cavaliers?
I did know that.
I didn't know that until tonight.
Yeah, because you're this guy.
Exactly.
Nail on the head. Jay, the NFC North will be wide open. All 4 teams are capable of winning it. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it was with me and you or me and Nick O, but we think the Vikings are obviously the best. You know, they're projected lowest in the division win total. They're the best 4th place team in football by a mile. And
yeah,
right.
It's going to be a great division. I do have concerns about the Bears being as productive as they were last year because of the schedule that they're going to face. Right. I do expect that that Luther Burden and Colson Loveland will both take a step forward. We hope that Caleb Williams can clean up some of the decision making and inaccuracies that we've seen. But the problem is, like, they played a 4th place schedule last year. They play a 1st place schedule this year. They had a late draft pick. Now they did kill it with the draft pick, so that's great. But I'm not convinced that the Bears are going to be winning that division by any stretch.
They put the the graphic up there during the Bears pick that Caleb Williams had the lowest completion percentage in the NFL last year, 58%, which is almost impossible to do in this day and age. But he's a little different style quarterback than the other guys. He's not checking the ball down. But all that being said, Caleb Williams was amazing last year and was a part of some of the biggest, best moments in the NFL. Game-winning moments, clutch moments. Like, I think if you want to go top 10 throws of the NFL season, was he probably 3 or 4 of them? Remember that DJ Moore one he had? Remember the DJ Moore one he had against Buffalo, I think it was?
No, are you talking the throw to win the playoff game or the Buffalo?
No, those for sure. The Packers one, also the one in the playoffs, but like there was the one against Buffalo like week 9 that was unreal. Yeah, so like he's three of the top 10 throws of all of the NFL with guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. It was fucking Caleb Williams. So
here, this was my problem with Caleb Williams coming in the league. Like, in the Pac-12, he was doing that on a regular basis, but he's playing against future firemen and insurance adjusters. So you saw multiple times a week those amazing throws. We're getting like 6 of those, 8 of those a year when he could sneak one out, but it's certainly not as consistent as it was when he was in college. And that's kind of the difference here. Like, if he doesn't clean up the inaccuracies, that Bears team is going to struggle to move the ball. Trust me. Like,
you know what I love about Caleb Williams? All these other people, not to go back on the church thing, but this is a funny one. Instead of thanking God, he thanks his nail salon owner. He's like, I want to thank Jessica for doing my nails. Appreciate you. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you because you really helped me out with looking all blinged out.
I know a lot of people who love Caleb Williams, but they hate the fact that he paints his nails.
It's Gen Z, bro. Like, they're weird. I mean, it is a big deal.
Do whatever you want. It's not for me, but do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. It's your life.
Odds. I got odds for you here. Odds that he has flames. I don't know. You remember the Workaholics episode where Blake has flames in his pubes? Or no, it's Adam. So what are the odds that Caleb Williams has pubes? And if he does have pubes, that he has they're lasered into like a flame.
The only way that he would have pubes is if he had some design into it, because Gen Z.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure they keep it nice and tidy down there.
Yeah, I think they should. I think the NFC North's the best division.
It's a hygiene thing.
How about this one? We're talking about the NFC North, and I think that the NFC West is the best division because Niners are the 3rd best team in that division, and they're awesome, and they have Kyle Shanahan, but they have the Cardinals, right? So I want to go off total wins for division. Like, would you take the NFC West? They have these bets on most betting apps. What division would you say has the most wins? Is it the NFC North or NFC West?
NFC West by a mile.
Even with the Cardinals? Cardinals are going to win like 4 games.
Yeah, so what? Like, the other 2 teams are going to win 12, 13, 14 games apiece. So, and I think you're going to have a couple of 8-win, 9-win teams in the NFC North. NFC North. So trying to remember who they each play this year. The NFC North plays who? They play the They play the West. No, that's 24. Ooh. That's not right. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. But
come prepared, Story. Come on.
I didn't know we were going to talk about this.
Yeah, because we talk about a million things in the show. Hatcher says, Story, Michael Jackson movie review. When are you doing it?
Anybody
want to watch it live?
No, I don't. I heard that it was fine, but it was like 2/3 of a movie. Like they breezed through like the Pepsi incident, and it's like, even though that was the life-changing moment for him that got him addicted to pain pills or pain medication in the first place, they kind of like breezed through it, and then they stop before anything becomes really off the wall. Like from what I understood, they had this whole second or third act of the movie that was filmed, and then they found in one of the settlements that they couldn't do it with settlements with one of the victims that couldn't do it. So they had to go back and reshoot a bunch of stuff. And so it kind of like ends abruptly. So I'm just going to wait till it comes on to streaming. I listen, you make a biopic of arguably the biggest entertainer of all time. I mean, you could argue a couple different people, but Michael Jackson at his prime was the biggest name on the planet. You could argue Taylor Swift now, etc. Yes, there is. So it's something that everybody should see if they're a fan of music, pop music, of Michael Jackson. But the fact that like it's kind of, I don't want to say they half-assed it because they certainly didn't, but the way that it ends, from what I understand, I can wait for it to come on the streaming.
They may or may not have glossed over a big chunk of his personal life, but that's neither here nor there. Let me ask you this story. So I like the Bucks over 8.5 wins, and I definitely like it now with the Bane pick. But the Tyson pick for the Saints is great. Which pick is more of a need, right? Like who won the first round compared, Saints versus Bucks? Because Saints had a higher draft pick, but I feel like they equally improved their teams. And I'm going to take the Bucks here.
I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Bears' opponent. So they play the NFC South and they play the AFC West this year. So all the teams in the North play the NFC South and the AFC West. So that's like half and half for both of those divisions. I might be rethinking my NFC West versus NFC North wins. Now
exactly.
Looking at this.
So I'll ask you my question again in the Cliff Notes version. I'll keep it shorter.
Yeah.
Which team won the first round, Saints or Bucks? I like the Bucks over 8.5 wins, but I love the Bane pick at 15, where Tyson was a great pick, but it was at 8, and they had a need there. I feel like the need for the Bucks was bigger at edge rusher.
It was also a smart trade, right? So they made a pretty good move to get Miami's pick there. Bane dropping there, I think, was very unexpected. I think a lot of people had him going top 12, if not top 10. I think the Bucks ended up winning this. The Saints kind of stayed pat. They got the guy that they probably, I would bet that they wanted Tate there, but him going at 3 overall or 4 overall was a surprise to a lot of people. So yeah, it was a great pick, the Tyson pick. I like it for fantasy. Was it the best pick for the Saints? I don't know about that. I think this was the best pick possible that for the Bucks. I think they won. Listen, I'm still very excited for Tyson from a fantasy perspective. I'm just not sure if it was the best from a team building perspective.
Thoughts on the Rams drafting Ty Simpson? We hate it. We're scratching our heads. It's perplexing story, and we don't know what the fuck to make of it. And also, we don't like Ty Simpson. You definitely don't like Ty Simpson.
I don't think I don't know. I understand it, but yeah.
Dan Orlovsky is super hard still from that pick, though. He's like, I told you, top 13. I told you.
No kidding. I was wrong there.
But let's just say this. That doesn't mean you're right in your take, Dan Orlovsky, because just like I liked Xavier Legette, right? I loved him, and he went higher than he should have gone. He went in the first round when he was a third-round talent. And it was at the moment I was like, I was right on Legette. See, I told you guys, and I was still wrong on Legette. So, like, Dan Orlovsky's probably still going to be wrong on Ty Simpson. We just have to wait 2 years to find out now, right?
Yeah, we'll find out in 2028, I'm sure.
Dakota says, odds that Rob would have his nails painted if he was 19 years old. If I was Gen Z, I would be a tranny, bro. I wouldn't have my nails painted. I would be a full-on transsexual because that's what they encourage these days. And I would be known as Roberta, and I'd be having a stream about being a beautician, I think.
A beautician? Like
yeah.
Someone who does makeup and hair and stuff like
that?
that?
Yeah, for like drag shows and shit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't know.
Cool,
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know if I grew up in this era, how I would have turned out. Who knows, dude? Who knows?
Yeah, baby. We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids. It's no good diddling kids.
There is no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about.
Perfect.
Thoughts on Pacino's performance as Joe Pa? Did that already come out? I have no idea.
I didn't see it. I don't know if it came out already.
I have some words about Joe Pa. Burn in hell, you enabling bastard. That's my words for Joe Pa because Jerry Sandusky as well. Is Sandusky alive still? That fucking asshole?
I think so. It came out in 2018, so we definitely missed it.
we missed it by fucking 8 years, dude.
By that much.
I think Al Pacino's had 3 kids since that came out, man. He's still popping them out. He's still pumping them in, I guess.
Yeah, Sandusky's still alive. Yeah, he's still kicking 82. How about that?
Gross, man. You know what? There's a song, I think, Only the Good Die Young. Like, that's the definition of only the pieces of shit live to 82. Like, and I'm just saying, Joe Pa was old and he used that as an excuse. He was also essentially like a dictator in that he ran that town. He was running the town, right? All these college coaches do that have been there forever.
Not anymore.
He knew.
Now it's run by boosters, but yeah, coaches up until the early 2000s, and
he was old school. He was an old school dude, so he was running it like that. He knew about all this weird shit. He looked the other way, and shame on you, Joe Pa. You're just as complicit as the guy doing the act.
Well, they can't hear you because he's dead.
Well, I'm speaking to you from beyond the grave, Joe Pa. I'm gonna have a little ceremony and get Joe Pa up here so we can punch him in the face. Is that harsh? Yeah. Is Bane your favorite Batman villain? No, he's my least. I don't like him.
I don't mind Bane.
Good voice, bro.
No, Bane from the comics is wildly different from Tom Hardy's portrayal of Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. I'm not going to spoil anything because I think it's a well worth a read. But if you haven't read Hush, it's an outstanding graphic novel. And he's up there, one of my favorite Batman villains all around because of. I'm not going to. No, even if I say that might spoil something. So I'm not going to say a word about it. But if you're into comics, graphic novels, Batman, go check out Hush. Find out your local library there. Otherwise, I like Scarecrow. Scarecrow's fun. I hate the Riddler. I absolutely hate the Riddler. If you played any of the Arkham games, the Riddler is so damn annoying. You got to go collect all his trophies and all his question marks and do all these challenges and riddles. And some of them aren't even riddles. Some of them are races. So stupid. I hate the Riddler. Hate him.
Jim Carrey was a decent performance. That was a way different take. That was very like Heath Ledger-esque, right?
Well, so I didn't mind Carrey's performance. What was weird was Tommy Lee Jones's portrayal of Two-Face. They were like trying to out-Riddler each other. Like all of a sudden you had 2 Riddlers there, and it wasn't the Two-Face that we knew it as. Such a wild movie.
Is that Batman Forever? That one? With Alicia Silverstone and
yes, because Batman and Robin was after that? No. Was it? Man, I can't remember.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Team Money, I find the Cardinals pick funny. They pick Jeremiah Love when they have no quarterback. That is very true. Now, there was no quarterback to be taken, even though, there's a faction of people that think Ty Simpson is worthy of a top 10 pick, which we don't. But top 3 is insane. Take an edge rusher. Trade back. How about you trade back? Trade back. You don't need a running back. You have Tyler Algier. You still have Trey Benson.
Did I imagine this, or were there rumors that Jacoby Brissett might have rumblings about holding out?
Oh no, there's rumblings.
Okay.
The guy that was in the backup quarterback commercial is now holding out for he doesn't even want more money. Story. He wants to be he wants security. He's going to start all year, so he wants something. Maybe it's more money, but I think he wants to get traded to a spot he can start. Which that spot does not exist in the NFL. The Jets is the only spot, but they have Geno Smith.
Yeah.
And he wants, I don't know what he played well last year, but Jacoby Brissett, weren't they 1-7 in his starts?
Yes.
I mean, he had put up good fantasy numbers, but unfortunately he also threw the ball 50 times a game. Congratulations. And he's fine. He's a fine quarterback. He's a great backup and a bad starter. So
probably wants
also a journeyman
is what I would guess. Right.
But why would they extend him? I would just say, see you later. We're starting Gardner Minshew, and we're drafting Taylon Green or Drew Aller or Carson Beck or your guy Nussmeier. Any of those guys.
I wonder if they're going to force the Cardinals' hand here in round 2 or 3. That'd be interesting. We'll find out tomorrow.
Where do you think Olave and Tyson will end up for redraft? So I can only speak on Olave currently as before the draft, as it was constructed on Underdog. He was ADP of 29, so say 30th pick. That is the early middle third round, essentially where JSN was going last year.
Remember where were you getting Olave last year?
Oh, 7th round. I want those times again, man.
That was awesome.
A pillar player of both of ours last year was one of our major hits, as well as George Pickens. But Where do you think it moves Olave? So is this going to move Olave down? I think it's not going to move him up.
No, it would have to move him down just by nature of the conservation of targets.
But less attention by the defense, though. It's a crutch argument too.
He's still going to be in the middle of round 3. Like, it's not going to move him down much. Like, so
okay,
Tyson,
what about Tyson?
8, 9, or is that too late?
I think earlier than that. I think 7th round.
Okay.
I think it's Ibuka range, right? Because Ibuka was drafted there, and it was Chris Godwin wasn't healthy, but Mike Evans was to start the year, so Mike Evans was there, which is the Olave. Now, Mike Evans wasn't going middle of the 3rd round, right? But he was also tied to he's tied to Baker Mayfield, so that's kind of a wash. And Ibuka went in the 7th round.
If you were drafting early, though, you could have gotten Ibuka in the 9th round.
Correct. But the difference is Ibuka was 20th pick, 21st pick, but Jordan Tyson's a top 10 pick now. That's some rare air. Those guys see the field early and often, and they do earn targets, and they're kind of force-fed targets, unless you're Marvin Harrison Jr., who just they didn't want to target that dude.
How dare
for
they?
a good reason though. Good reason though. I mean, so we love Marv. I was talking to we have a new Patreon, Jake, last night. I was talking to him after he signed up in the Discord, and he's like coming around to Marvin Harrison because of me, which is funny that I'm the biggest Michael Wilson guy in the world, but I'm huge on Marvin Harrison this year. At least I have been in best ball because I get him at like pick 62. And like, that's insane. Like, I don't, 62, that's fucking end of the 5th round for Marvin Harrison, early 6. It's amazing.
Yeah. But if they
I explained to him why it was that they
a day 2 wide receiver, I'd be concerned about that 62 price tag.
I'm not, dude. It's the fact that it's the Kyle Pitts thing from last year, right? Like Kyle Pitts was so free last year because he had burned everyone for years and years and years, right? He was rookie year was drafted pretty high, and then his second year, remember, he was going in that like Brock Bowers range from last year. Like he was going like maybe not Brock Bowers, he was going on the Trey McBride range. It was like end of the 2nd round. It's Kyle Pitts' 2nd year, and he got hurt and was awful. And every year he has yet to meet his ADP. So last year he had burned everyone and anyone he could have, so no one was drafting him. Marvin Harrison now is going into year 3, and it's not been good for Marvin Harrison. And they're just like, what? Or is this year 4 or year 3 for Marvin Harrison?
This will be year 3.
Yeah, year 3. So, but he's already like the 1st round. He went 1st round his rookie year. That was insane. You said it on this very show. You're like, biggest fade ever. Didn't you have him at like wide receiver 27 that year?
I had him well out of the top 24. I had him as a wide receiver 3, and I'm like, first of all, I didn't care for. I think Tate's a better prospect, even though people will say that Marvin Harrison was a much better prospect. I think the name was a big factor there. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. It didn't matter. Like, he was being drafted 3 rounds higher than the highest rookie wide receiver had ever been drafted in fantasy football. I'm like, that's an automatic fade. Yeah. Even if he outperforms like expectations, he still would need to be in the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown level to return value. I could not believe the draft price.
And he was tied to Kyler Murray, who is a long jockey. Cardinal. All right, get into everyone's comments here in a second. We got a little bit of time left in the show. Get your questions in. We're going to see Mr. Story the next couple nights as well, or at least tomorrow night, and then Saturday we're going to do a little short show during the day during the draft.
Yeah, I can't do the night, but if you want to do during the day, let me know.
We'll just do like an hour because I'm doing a short night show as well because I have some people coming over, but I'm not going to miss a draft recap show on a Saturday night, guys. Before we get to the rest of the comments, so I do want to shout out to the Patreon guys. Appreciate everybody. Shout out to I didn't upload the new graphic, but shout out to Jake for joining. Appreciate you and everyone else supporting us here. Get a lot of good perks, gentlemen. Silver, you should definitely check it out because if you want to get in the Dynasty League, we have 1 spot left. Jake is not getting in. He's just a professional, not a fanatic. He's going to get in redraft leagues, though. But you get access to the Discord community fantasy leagues. Like I said, there is a spot open for the Dynasty. Guest appearances on the show, free merchandise giveaways, and a lot more. Also, access to my bets. This is last year's player props and all the previous 4 years, all on record, all documented with tickets sent in the Discord. Time, odds, site I'm using, 96 and 58, 4-year track record. You're going to get Mike Story busting some college plays this year, as well as Mouth of the South from Downtown Sports is going to be talking and betting his game lines. You're going to have 3 ways to play. or just bet mine, who has a proven record. But Mike's story does awesome in college stuff. So professionalfanatics.com, link in the description for that. Hop over to the Patreon. I'll get you in the Discord tonight if you want to get in tonight. A lot of good draft stuff going. The Discord is popping. Like I said, about 500 messages from the start of the draft to the end. I couldn't even keep up with it, but I wanted to chime in. And we're all in there. We're all talking. You can DM any of the 6 or 7 hosts we have in the show. Talk college with Story, talk Michael Jackson or church with me or football, whatever you want to do. So professionalfanatics.com. Get in now, boys. It's also a good way to keep the show running as we currently do every single night. Sorry, I've missed one show in April.
You're a machine. You are a Terminator. You are a HAL 5000. What HAL 2? HAL 1? Whatever. One of the HALs. Whatever it is. GT.
Yeah,
I'm putting it in.
I'm putting it in. GT is on tonight. Shout out GT, who is he is the man, and it is the place to be. The Discord's the place to be. GT is the guy. We love him. So a couple more comments here. You know what? I'm gonna play the let's see. What do we call the Discord story? It's the
it's the place to be.
It's the place to be.
Tell me everything.
Okay, they were both here. They were both in.
Sir, what do you call it, Kramer? It was. Come on, Rudy. Come on. We call it the place. The place to be. Yes.
I missed the first one. I sometimes do make mistakes. I am only human. So, another question. Do you think Scat sneaks back up around the Javonte Bucky range? Now, I've been kind of fading Scat just because I felt like Jeremiah Love was going to be a giant and everything I heard, and now it's not the case. So, I am more apt to take Tyrone Tracy at his ADP because Tyrone Tracy has what I would presume as a bigger early season role because Scatterbo, if he comes back week 1, is he fully healthy? Are they going to want to give him 20 touches a game? And you're getting Tyrone Tracy in the 10th or 11th round and Scatterbo's in the 4th or 5th round. Give me Tyrone Tracy.
Scatterbo was a beast last year, but it feels like injury is just going to be baked into his game because of the way he plays. The dislocated ankle is not ideal, obviously, but the torn ligaments are what is a real concern there. And can he get back to full form right off the bat? If he can, is it his backfield? I think so. Unless they draft an early round 2 running back, then yeah, I think Scatterbo. I would have a tough time moving Scatterbo behind Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving's situation feels worse now than what Scatterbo's was projected to be because I think what Love was tied to the Giants pretty heavily. Yeah, I think I would have Bucky Irving, assuming health, over Bucky. Excuse me, I would have Scatterbo, assuming health, over Bucky Irving.
Yeah, they officially signed Sean Tucker, so Bucky's toast. Now, I'll say this story. I feel like hopefully the market corrects itself with that signing and people get wise to what happened last year. And I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was last year. And he's right now going let's say it's early 4th round. What if we could start getting Bucky in the mid to early 5th round? Now we're in on Bucky, right? Because the talent's there and the offense is there. And he doesn't need to have, if he just scores 6 or 7 touchdowns with that in between the 20s work, he will return value. But right now, 4th round, no, thank you, dude. No, thank you.
Nah, no, thank you. Not at 4th. But yeah, if he drops to the end of the 5th, man, that feels juicy.
This is an interesting comp from Silver. He says, I hate saying his name, Jadarian Price reminds me of Rashad Penny all over again. So Rashad Penny was a freak, though. He was a 4'4" guy that was 230 pounds. But I kind of get your comp. And Story, our comp, remember what our comp was for Jadarian Price?
I don't off the top of my head.
Sony Michel.
Oh, that's right. Now I do remember, yeah.
We don't compare notes before the show besides our lists. And we both had Sony Michel as our comp. And I didn't know that was your comp. You didn't know that was my comp. So that was a pretty cute moment for us. That was simpatico, you know?
C'est very simpatico. Yeah. Rashad Penny was supposed to be that guy, right? He was supposed to be the next big thing for the Seahawks and just never panned out. Just the injuries, the lack of high-end upside, he just never could get there.
Yeah, and the biggest problem with Penny was injuries, though, which is weird because he was 230 pounds. But it was, it was the weird thing is he was one of the only first-round running backs, and it was I think he went 20th overall. Can someone fact check that for me?
Yeah.
It wasn't top 10, but it wasn't 32, right? And it was a first-round running back, and he was one of the only guys. There was a stat that all of them get 200 touches. in their first year because they're pretty much drafted in a team that needs running back and they had the high draft capital. And he was the only guy that that was Chris Carson, right? Remember Chris Carson was the starter.
Yeah.
He was a 5th round pick a couple years prior, and Pete Carroll's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna roll. I'm gonna draft Rashad Penny in the first round, but I'm starting Chris Carson. That was the only case. And then after that, Rashad Penny could not stay healthy, and he just was out of favor with that front office.
You remember Chris Carson washed out of the league because that neck that he couldn't shake that whatever that neck thing he had was. His spine.
He was a grown man though. I loved Chris Carson.
Yeah,
perpetually undervalued in fantasy too because just people were like he's boring. I was like he's like a poor man's Marshawn Lynch, dude. He's great. Team Money, we talked about this a little before. The Eagles drafting Mekhi Lemon has to mean A.J. Brown is out the door. Story, you said 90% before the pick he was gone, and I didn't say that high, and you said 98% now. It's gone. Gonzo.
98. Gone.
Fuck, it's sign language shit. Hatcher says we would love to talk church, but I guess we unholy. We are. GT, any thoughts on how they produce the NFL draft? What can improve? I don't ever like the panel. I don't know. We didn't have Mel Kiper on there, at least not the one I was watching. But
this was not horrendous. I underestimated how much of a difference the drop from 10 to 8 minutes actually made.
Oh, yeah.
Because last year, man, it strung out to almost 11 o'clock. It's too long. 4 hours is too long. Especially when you're talking about guys, and you get in the mid to late 20s, and there's some guys in there that, even though we're embedded in this, some guys I've never even heard of before. I shouldn't say that. Everybody I've heard of, but guys that you don't know much about, and people, the panel trying to get excited about guys they're clearly not excited about, right? These are old white
Peter
men.
Woods. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Peter Woods, let's go.
So yeah, how would I improve it? You've never been to the draft, have you?
I would never go to the fucking draft, dude. I don't even like going to football games. I like watching in the comfort of my couch with pizza and getting back rubs for my wife and watching my fantasy teams.
I went to a Miller party down at Soldier the year that the draft. Remember the year they drafted Kevin White?
Yeah, I remember that.
I got to meet Kevin White because he was their first round draft pick. So it was a Miller party where it was free food, free drink. You got to meet some Bears guys, including Dicka, who's looks like he's on death's door, knock on wood. Kevin White. So that was fun. You weren't in a mass of people. You weren't like, because I wouldn't want to stand in the center there. I don't like being in crowds of people. And so that would be a little rough. But if it comes back to Chicago, if they have another chance for an event like that, I would do that. Otherwise, I'm fine doing it on my couch.
You know what I just thought of is Curb Your Enthusiasm when it's Meet the Blacks and like they're actually black and he's like, like you got, like, do you think it's ironic that your last name's black and you are black? And the family's just looking at him like, what the fuck? And you said Kevin White. I was like, it should have been called Kevin Black.
That was early one. That was an early Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, season 3.
When they do the season 12, the trial again, where the very last episode where they're bringing back all the people, including the one where the episode in the one of the first ones where he puts an ad in the newspaper and is like, she's a very good C word when he meant to put she's a very good aunt or something like that.
Yeah, the cunt. She's a beloved cunt.
Yeah, that's
what it was, beloved cunts. And that's why the first 2 seasons, like not having that whole dynamic is lacking, right? It's the same thing with Seinfeld. Like Kramer wasn't Kramer yet, and you didn't have Leon. Like Leon was the Kramer of the show, and without Leon, you didn't have that essentially that sidekick. And Leon is super underrated, dude, when it comes to in the pantheon of just funny sidekick characters. Leon's unreal, dude. You tap that out, Larry?
Yeah. I'm convinced they don't do scripts. They just do here's the scene, here's the premise, and they let people riff. And you can see that Jeff, who's the guy who plays Jeff, his manager?
I think his name is Jeff.
Yeah, it's Jeff, but I don't know what his actual name is, his last name. Anyway, you can tell when he runs into the improv issues because he'll just parrot back exactly what Larry David says.
Yeah, exactly. Just repeats it.
But JB Smooth, when he first got there, that whole family is hilarious. But he was kind of weak on the improv. As he continued on with that cast, he got better and better with the improv. And all of the non sequitur stuff that he and Larry talk about is like in seasons 10, 11, 12. That's some of the funniest shit I've seen on television.
Yeah, Team Money, Tennessee picking Carnell Tate. What a reach. It was a reach. Story, you love Carnell Tate. It was still a reach, though, right?
Yeah, I think that was a reach. I would have loved Tate. Dude, Tate, if there was no wide receivers drafted before Tate and Tate went to New Orleans at 8, I would be over the moon. As it stands, Tate to Tennessee is great, but we talked about it. Tyson at 8 with the actual like production, it's going to be really close to where those two shake out in my dynasty rankings.
So you were really high on Cam Ward coming out, and then last year for fantasy perspective in best ball, obviously not in redraft or in like super flex leagues, but I've been drafting quite a bit of Cam Ward this year. And this is even before I knew I thought they were drafting Jeremiah Love, but I just see the year 2 jump. He played so much better the second half of the year, and particularly the second half of the year. He looked like an NFL quarterback, and he was running a little bit more. So it's like, this really helps Cam Ward stock, right? Like I like what it does for the kid. I just don't like it for Carnell Tate. I don't like it from a real life perspective. It's an overdraft. Like this is, again, I have him as a second round player. So, I mean, I'll tell you, that tells you all you need to know about my thoughts on Carnell Tate's, who was wide receiver 5 for me. Pull up the rankings here if you guys want to take a little gander. So Story did have him at number 1. I had him at 5. So I don't hate him. He's fine. I like the fit. Honestly, I do like the fit because as much as I liked Io Manor, like Io Manor is a depth piece in the league, and now you have a true guy. He is. If you guys want to, everyone has him at 1 or 2. He better be a true guy. He better be a true alpha.
Yeah, this draft capital for Tyson is really throwing a wrench into my rankings.
Yeah. So if you in Dynasty, if we had the choice, who you're taking Tyson?
What did I say earlier? 52-48 Tyson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I like Carnell Tate? I'm a Tate guy now. I've come full circle. I'm a Tate guy.
Apparently. I mean, the draft capital is undeniable. Like, we knew Love wasn't going to move up at all because the latest he was going to go was 7, right? And 3 to 7 for a running back, not a huge deal. All those teams have running back needs. I guess Arizona thought they had a running back need. But for Tate to go top 5 when these guys like, and then Lemon all the way down at 20, like that is a big, like Tate. I think Tate and Tyson have to jump into their own tier now, or you move Lemon down into tier 2, and then you move everybody else down a tier. I just think like the draft capital is so